Great.
Colin, does it matter, Apple and the Dow? What do you think?
I mean, it's a great badge of honor for the company, right? It's prestigious names that are in the Dow, and it's, a nice little check mark to have, but it's not an investment thesis. So it's nice for them to have made it in that regard, but, part of the issue with Apple is it's number one now. Right? It's number one across many metrics. It's included in multiple indices. You're going to start seeing some volatility be generated in the name, not because of the fundamentals, but because of the fact that they are in these indices.
Well, I have to point out, though, if Apple was added to the Dow instead of AT&T all those years back, the Dow really would have had a much bigger rally than it did with AT&T. Mike, does that mean that Apple is significant?
Well, someone on our team did the numbers, and the Dow would be at something like 22,000 if the Apple was added in 2008. Again, like Colin said, if I were to play Mr. Spock for a minute, I'd say it's illogical that we even have a Dow Jones Industrial Average.
You can do that hand thing?
I can't. Yeah, I guess I can. But obviously, no money, next to no money is benchmarked to it. $7 trillion is benched to the S&P 500. But that said, we're not Vulcans. We are humans, and there is still sort of this, whether it's nostalgia or habit, there still is this, tendency to look at the Dow. Even quants, you'll talk to a quant and they'll talk about a 300-point drop in the market. And they're talking about the Dow, even though they probably haven't run a study on the Dow in 20 years. So whether you're Main Street or Wall Street, there is sort of this sentimental connection to it. And I think, if it were to bring the Dow much higher, those round numbers, again, there's no logic to them to being worried about them, but they do catch people's attention. So a Dow at 20,000, if Apple were to bring it there, is something people would take note of.
And Apple's been sort of trying to financially engineer their stock to be really attractive to more people, right? 7-to-1 stock split, we got a lot of dividends. How long can they continue something like that, Colin?
Right, and that's a great question because, they did do that stock split to put it right in that sweet spot, perhaps to be included in the Dow. They've been aggressively repurchasing their own shares, right? I mean, we're talking, in the magnitudes of billions of dollars, and they're running low despite all the cash that they have, right? They're down to $20 billion in domestic cash, right? And so when you have the situation,
it still sounds like a lot to me.
It does, but when you have 180 total, right? It's still it's a fraction, and their domestic cash is declining. They're using it faster than they're replenishing it, and they're issuing debt, right? But the focus is being that when you set yourself up to drive your stock price, it's great on the way up, but the reverse leverage can kick in as well.
Right, and you got to sort of sustain it, like you said, which means more money. But I think the quote of the day was, "We're humans, not Vulcans," while talking about Apple. I don't know how Mike did that, but he did. All right.